Netflix has a new movie all about a damsel who has to marry a prince, but then after the wedding gets sent down to the cave to be sacrificed to the dragon. This was not a terrible movie, but it was not that good. I was pretty impressed with the production value. I did think the sets were very good, the costumes were well done. I really did feel like we were in medieval times. Millie Bobby Brown, she did an excellent job. She really performed to her best. But the problem really was the writing, the plot of the story. It was very interesting, but it does feel like for an hour 46 minutes, this felt way more drawn out than it needed to be. It really could have been a shorter story. Or at the very least, because the first 30 minutes are very interesting. Things are happening. We go from her kingdom to their kingdom, and things are happening. She's having a conversation with the prince. All sorts of things are happening. You go to many places, so there's a lot for you to care about, to pay attention to. But then after 30 minutes, that's about the time when she gets sent down to the cave. And that's where the movie just stops. It's just super slow. And honestly, what can you do for a majority of a movie being in a cave? Hiding from a dragon or encountering the dragon, it's just not, it doesn't do much. Or at the very least for this story, there's not much that's done. Now, same thing as what I said, 30 minutes in the beginning and then 30 minutes at the end. Things start happening, more interesting things happen, but during that time in between, it's just very nothing. But there were some things I appreciated. The visual effects were very well done. It was sad that that one scene in the trailer with all the glowing yellow, it was birds that were burning because of the dragons. That was kind of sad, but like impressive visuals, really. And then it ended up being kind of a bummer for the blue. It ended up being little slugs. I mean, yes, they did help with like wounds and everything, but it was, slugs. I did think it was cool when she's hiding in the cave and then you start seeing all the other women from the past. That was pretty cool. And then obviously Victoria was giving a lot of good advice and everything. But I just feel like there just was not many things to do. Or at least with what the writing, there wasn't much done. I'm sure with a better writer, I just wish the plot was better. It had an intriguing concept. I just think with her just being in the cave for a lot of the movie, it just, you know, you're just kind of like, all right, how much longer? And of course it was really nice. I mean, obviously the reason they put her in like the corset and whatever that ring thing is to make a dress like, you know, billow out like that, that was pretty cool how it's like, oh, she gets trapped there and she has to kick it away, like as it just more and more of the oppressive dress wear from the past gets taken down and everything. I thought that was, you know, a nice little thing there. Nice commentary, or maybe super obvious to some people, but I thought it was pretty good. And it was pretty ridiculous I saw some critics talk about the fact that, oh, why does she like lose so much of her clothes? And it's like, first off, like all that stuff was super oppressive. So she couldn't really do anything. She couldn't move all that much. And obviously that's the point. The kingdom wants her to die. So why would they put her in anything with armor or nice things? Like something that could actually be more workoutable. The ending was pretty good. And one thing I really appreciate is the main antagonist and main protagonist. There was Elodie, the main character, so she's the protagonist, and then you get the main antagonist turned more anti-hero with the dragon, so she's a girl, and then obviously we get the main villain, the queen. So I thought that was kind of good to kind of show like, just because we're women doesn't mean, you know, I thought that was pretty well done. Like, obviously, yes, you do have some male characters, but they were far more in the background. So I did appreciate that, though. Like, those were the main ones we had to deal with. And I thought it was interesting for some people that were talking about, oh, the fighting was super short. And it's like, well, she has never fought in combat. the dragon, as we saw from the start of the movie, could easily destroy her. It was more about convenience that she was able to live rather than, oh, I outsmarted the dragon and everything like that. But I do think not just because of being in the cave, I just feel like some scenes were drawn out, especially when she's trying to tell the dragon, hey, I'm not one of them just because you think, because of the cut in my hand, that I have their blood. It's not true. It just was taking a while, and I understand for centuries she's been doing this. It's like, oh, you killed my young, so I'm gonna kill your young, and it's like I get it, and she doesn't want to accept it and everything, but it's like, this is just taking a while. Honestly, it really felt way longer than an hour 46 minutes. Another plus two I found was the music. I was pretty impressed with the music. I thought that was really good. Like, I think production value with everything else besides the actual plot and writing was good. So like, if we had a better story, I probably would have been pretty happy with it. But I just was not the most pleased with the plot. Now, when I first watched the trailer, I was like, you know what, this story sounds very familiar. I remember picking up a book with a similar concept. So this is the book Damsel. Now, this is not the book that is based on the screenplay for the movie. This is a totally separate book, a totally separate story, separate author. But I thought it'd be kind of interesting to watch this movie and read this book. So I do have another channel, The Book Skeptic. So I'm going to do a whole review on this book, and I'm going to do a compare and contrast on the movie I just watched and this book. So if you'd like to watch that video, I will have it linked right here and down below in the description when that video is done. That should be in the next couple of days. And just an FYI, highly recommend this book, so stay tuned. So far, I've seen 2 movies from 2024. First was Madam Web, now it's Damsel, and both, no, very disappointing, but on Tuesday I will be watching Kung Fu Panda 4, and I'm hoping that will be way better. I liked both Kung Fu Panda 1 and 2, I did not like 3, and I only watched it once, I just could not get into it. But I do have high hopes for Kung Fu Panda 4. I think that will be really good. And obviously one of the nicer things about watching a movie on Netflix versus going to the theaters is you didn't pay money for it. So like, yeah, I did give an hour 46 minutes of my time, but it wasn't, you know, it wasn't the worst. Like, it was something. It was passable, I guess you could say. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't already. See you guys next time. Bye! I hope you guys appreciated me committing to the bit. I never did this. I never did the makeup, the earrings, the dress, but I was like, you know what? For this one, I can do it. So, thanks so much for watching.